Hello, my dear students. How are you all? I am Bashavi, your teaching buddy, and I welcome you all to study Class 3 Science with me by Science Horizon Economic Series by Anjana Arora Goswami and Unit of Amit Publication. Alright, so let's begin. Today we are going to study chapter number 4, that is birds. So let's see what all we have to study today in this chapter. We will study how birds are able to fly, birds' nesting habits, beaks and claws in birds, care for the young. Correct? So, my dear students, in our day-to-day life, we come across seeing so many birds. We go to our terrace, we go to our balcony, we go to gardens and we see so many birds. Have you ever wondered how do they fly? Or have you ever wished to fly along with them? So let's study here. This chapter is all about this. Now, how are birds able to fly? First of all, the body of a bird consists of a head, a tail and two legs. Correct? Now, all of these are very light in weight. कोई भी चीज जब बहुत लाइट होती है वेट में, so that is able to fly. Like a kite, like a leaf, like a piece of paper. So they are very light in weight. तो bird की body बहुत हल्की होती है in weight. That's why they are able to fly. Secondly, the bones of a bird are hollow. जैसे we have a solid strong bone. Bones जो birds में पाए जाते हैं वो बहुत ही hollow, बहुत हल्के होते हैं. They do not have teeth and so their body is very light. Then a bird has a boat-shaped body. एक boat की shape की body होती है. It cuts through the air easily. So when it passes or travels through air, it is able to cut the air and flow. The downside body of a bird is covered with small fluffy feathers. जो उसका नीचे के body part होता है, that is covered with very fluffy and heavy quantity of feathers. They are called down feathers. So इसको इसने नाम दिया है down feathers. Now the body feathers are small feathers present all over the body of birds. Since ये नाम ही ऐसा है body feather, so it means it covers the entire body. They give streamlined shape, that is this kind of shape, streamlined shape to their body, and thus it helps in flying. Two wings are attached to a bird's trunk. Long, flat feathers are attached to them that birds use them to fly. The feathers on the wings are called flight feathers. So we have down feathers, we have body feather जो body cover करता है, and those feathers which they use to fly, that is called flight feathers. Down feather, body feather, these kind of long feathers जो आपने अक्सर ही कहीं गिरा हुआ देखा होगा, they are flight feather. Now, how does a bird fly? Look at bird's wings. Its wings are broad, round in the front and narrow and pointed at the back. When a bird contracts its wing, जब bird उड़ते उड़ते अपने wing को contract करता है, छोटा कर देता है, and throws them upwards and backward, it is called upstroke. तो जब वो अपने विंग्स को छोटा करके ऊपर की तरफ ऐसे फ्लैप करता है, वो ऊपर की तरफ स्ट्रोक मार रहा है. That's why it is called upstroke. Then the bird expands. Then he खोलता है अपने विंग्स को, its wings, and throws them downwards and forward. तो इस तरह से upstroke हो गया, and flapping like this downward is called downstroke. Correct? Upstroke upwards, downstroke downwards. Now this way the bird flaps its wings. These strokes lift the bird in the air and it enables them to fly. The muscle attached to the wings are very strong. Now they have a hollow bone structure, they have light body, but इनके जो muscles हैं वो बहुत strong होते हैं because to these muscles the feathers are attached. Now they help the birds to fly its wings for a longer period of time. Continuously इस तरह से exercise करते रहते हैं, flap करते हैं अपने wings को. So this is downstroke like this. This is upstroke like this. Okay, upstroke, downstroke. Now birds use their tails to change the direction during flight. Now they are moving suppose straight. Now they have to land towards the ground or go to right or left. In that case, they use their tail to change their direction. The wings of some birds like kites and eagles are very large in proportion to their body. So when such birds reach a certain height, they simply spread their wings and float around. कुछ birds जो होते हैं, like in case of eagle, vulture, kites, उनकी body होती है छोटी but they have long feathers. So after reaching a certain height, वो अपने feather को खोल के ऐसे ही float करते रहते हैं. So those long feathers, they help them to just float in the flow of air. They don't have to continuously flap their wing. Alright, so this was about their feathers. Now what are the different kinds of flyers? We have eagles. See, I told you about long feather. They have kite, sparrow, this is a small bird, and bulbul. Then some birds can fly very high up in the sky. So these are like this. Now peacock, hen. These birds, they can fly only short distances. Peacock, which is our national bird, and hen, which we have seen here and there, they can fly only up to a certain height. वो ऊपर तक नहीं जा सकते. Then these birds can fly at a smaller height. Again, sparrow and bulbul. Flamingo and Arctic fern. Some birds can fly very long distances. इनकी height बहुत ऊपर तक जाती है. They can fly a smaller height and they can take a smaller distance. ज़्यादा दूर तक नहीं उड़ सकते. Small height and small distance. And they can fly very long distance. ये बहुत दूर दूर तक उड़ के travel कर सकते हैं. So these are the examples. Eagle kite, high up in the sky. Sparrow bulbul, smaller height. Peacock hen, smaller distance. Flamingo and Arctic tern, long distances. Correct? Now some birds cannot fly at all. They are called flightless birds. इनको bird की category में रखा गया है, but they cannot fly. Example: ostrich, kiwi, and penguin. Alright, so they can run, they can hop, they can walk, but they cannot fly. इनको कहते हैं flightless birds. Now beaks and claws. Birds use their beak. Beak क्या होते हैं? This structure, this lip structure, this mouth structure, and claws क्या होते हैं? ये जो पकड़ने का उनका grasp करने का एक organ, hand या paw. So birds use their beaks and claws to catch, hold, and eat their food. All birds do not eat the same kind of food. The shape of a bird's beak and claw is suited to the type of food it eats. हर एक बर्ड का एक ही तरह का बीक या एक ही तरह का क्लॉ स्ट्रक्चर नहीं होता. They varies and they depend on the kind of food they eat. Alright, so let's see what they have. Flesh eating birds. वो कौन से होते हैं? Eagle, hawk, owl, vultures. They are the birds of prey. They eat small animals like rats, snake, and frogs. And the beaks of these birds are very strong and sharp. किसकी बात कर रही हूँ मैं? Eagles, hawks, owls, vultures. They feed on what? Snakes, rats, and small creatures. So they have very strong and sharp beak. The upper portion is hook shape. ऐसा hook की तरह shape होता है. It helps them to tear the body of the organisms they are eating into small pieces. The birds of prey have strong and sharp claws called talons. इनके जो ये claws हैं, they are very, ये claws होते हैं, ये beak होता है. See, these are claws. So they have hook shape. Can you see this kind of hook shape? They have hook shape so that they can tear the flesh, and they have sharp claws so that they can, catch their prey. They help them to catch and hold a live prey. वो एकदम से force से उड़ के आते हैं. They catch their prey and then they again fly off. That is why they are having such kind of organs by the nature. Then we have, okay, these are flesh eating. Then perching birds. वो कौन से होते हैं? Sparrows, pigeons, crow, myna. They eat seeds, grains, small insects and worms. आपने देखा होगा टेरेस पे या बालकनी पे we keep a platter of grains or some rice, some seeds. So these kind of birds, sparrow, pigeon, myna, crows, they are called perching birds. They come to our terraces and they feed on these grains. They have short, hard and horny beaks to pick and crush seeds and grains. इनके beak कैसे होते हैं? Small, short होते हैं, but they are hard so that they can grind the seeds they are eating. These birds have 3 toes in the front. इनके जो toes होते हैं, they have 1, 2, 3. Front में they have 3 toes and 1 at the back. So basically they have 4 toes, 3 at the front, 4th one at the end. Such toes help the bird to hold onto a branch. तो ये ब्रांच को ग्रिप करके ऐसे पकड़ने के लिए इनके क्लॉज इस तरह से बने होते हैं, so that they can tightly grip on a branch. This is called perching. So the way they perch on any rod, any wire, on branch of trees, that is called perching. These birds can even sleep while they perch. So ये ऐसे बैठे बैठे भी they sleep. They are perching and they can sleep. So इनके features आपको पता चल गए. They have 3 toes at the front, 1 at the back. They have short, hard and horny beaks so that they can crush and grind the seeds, and they can even sleep while they are perching. Now climbing birds कौन से होते हैं? A woodpecker has a strong chisel shape. You can see this kind of shape, the pointed shape, that is called chisel shaped, and it uses its beak to make holes into hard tree trunks and pull out insects from the holes. तो इसका नाम woodpecker इसलिए है because it sits on any bark of tree. It keeps on digging, ऐसे खट करके it pulls out the insects out of the bark of the tree, and they have very pointed this chisel shaped beak. A parrot has a curved beak which helps it to crack nuts and hard food. See, parrot का इस तरह से hooked and hard shaped beak होता है, so that it can feed on guavas, on fruits that they like, and nuts. Alright, woodpeckers and parrots have 2 toes in the front. इनके कितने toe होते हैं? 2 at the front and 2 at the back. Total they have 4, 2 at the front, 2 at the back. These toes help them to climb trees. अब इनके toes किस चीज में help करते हैं? To climb. इस तरह से trees पे climb करने के लिए. Previously what I told you, they have such kind of toes to hold on to the branch of the tree. Now a parrot also uses its beak to climb a tree. Parrot अपना beak use करता है tree का support लेके climb करने के लिए. So these are called climbing birds. Now we have scratching birds. What are they? Chickens scratch and dig the ground with their beaks and claws. Chicken क्या करते हैं? वो ground को ही scratch करते हैं, खोदते रहते हैं. They do it to search buried seeds and insects, and this in search of in search of their food, insects and seeds. They keep on scratching the ground. Their beaks are small and pointed. Their legs are strong with 3 toes in the front. Now they are again having 3 toes at the front and 1 at the back. ऐसा किस केस में था? Perching birds के केस में. These toes have sharp and hard claws for scratching. So they use such sharp and hard claws for scratching the ground. And what kind of beak they have? They have they have this kind of small and pointed beak so that they can again scratch the ground. Now we have swimming birds. Water birds like ducks, geese, they have broad and flat beaks. आपने duck के beak देखे होंगे, they are broad and flat. Their beaks have tiny holes. उनके beaks में ना छोटे छोटे holes होते हैं. Like we have nostrils in our nose, so their beaks have holes. Why? Because these birds take in muddy water with insects, worms and small plants. The water flows out of these holes. Insects, plants and worms are left behind for them to eat. तो इनके जो broad lip structures होते हैं, when they dip their mouth into a muddy water, because water birds they are always in water. So when they catch any fish or insect or worms, so excess water they flow out of those holes. जो holes हैं उनके broad beaks में excess water flows out, and they are left with these small insects or edible things what they want to eat, वो उनके mouth के अंदर चले जाते हैं. That's why they have holes in their beaks. Now these birds have 3 toes in the front. Again they have 3 toes at the front, 1 toe at the back. Alright. So scratching bird, crows and perching birds and swimming birds, they all have 3 toes at the front and 1 at the back. The front toes are joined together by skin forming a web. लेकिन इस केस में swimming birds के केस में they have this webbed feet. Why? उनके ये जो toes हैं ये जुड़े हुए होते हैं. Because it helps them to swim. The birds use their webbed feet as paddles. ये paddle की तरह काम करता है. They push water back with their feet and swim forward. जैसे आपने देखा होगा जो स्विमर्स होते हैं when they wear long paddle feet, artificial paddle feet, you might have seen, तो वो इस fundamental पे based है because it helps them in swimming and push the water behind. Now we have wading birds, cranes and herons that can walk through water, which is called wading. If somebody asks you what is wading, so birds like cranes and herons, they can even walk on water, and that is called wading. These birds eat fish, frog and insects from the water. They have long, sharp and pointed beaks. See, they have such long, sharp and pointed beak. Their beaks help them to catch their prey easily. Since they are walking on the water, वो बस सीधा मुंह अंदर करते हैं and they catch their prey. These birds have long, slender legs. See, they have such long, slender legs. They help them to walk in shallow water without getting wet. Their spread out toes enable them to stand on the soft mud without sinking. So, how are they able to stand? Because they have spread out toes, which makes a grip on the land, और वो गिरते नहीं हैं. Now, birds nesting habits. Nesting habits क्या होते हैं? Birds build nest to lay eggs. अब we have a house. Why do we live in a house? So that we get a shelter. एक protected house में रहते हैं. So that outer climate जैसा भी हो, we are protected inside our house. Then we have our family in our house. We have kids. We have mother, father, sister, brother in our house. Similarly, birds, they live in nests because they have a family. They lay their eggs in the house, in their nest. They choose such places for their nest which are safe in bad weather and hidden from their predators. Birds make nests in trees, on rooftops, in the hole of walls, in the crack of rocks, in the hollows of trees. So, जहाँ उनको suitable लगता है, where they feel they are safe with outside weather or predators, they make their nest and they reproduce and make their family. They use twigs, grasses, threads, bits of paper, rags, feathers and even mud to build their nest. तो ये बहुत एक beautiful phenomena है. Where if ever you get a chance to see some kind of video in National Geographic channel, please go through it. ये बहुत beautifully अपने एक straw, twigs, grass, feathers, they gather everything and prepare a beautiful nest, a beautiful house for themselves. All nests are quite warm and comfortable to live inside. Then we have types of nest. A weaver bird. Weaver का मतलब क्या होता है? Weaving means to weave, silna. A weaver bird uses its beak to weave pieces of leaves, grasses, etc. together to build a nest. Now, what do they use? They use these kind of pieces of leaves and grass and they weave it to make a nest. The nest hangs from a tree. It has an opening at the bottom as entrance. So see, this is a beautiful nest these birds make and they have an opening. आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे एक opening है. They enter the house, the nest from here and ऊपर से इसको hang कर देते हैं with a branch of tree. Now a tailor bird. Now this tailor bird, tailor क्या करते हैं? वो कपड़े stitch करते हैं. They make dresses for us. Similarly, a tailor bird uses its beak like a needle and stitches leaf together to build a nest. तो वो अपने beak को, pointed beak को एक needle की तरह use करके they stitch leaves and or grasses or any big pieces of leaves and they build up a nest. It uses threads, plant fiber, wool, etc. for stitching. So this is so interesting. It then keeps hair, grass, cotton, feathers, etc. in the nest. So ये again कितना एक beautiful natural phenomena है. A woodpecker pecks a tree trunk with its beak to make a hole for a nest. तो woodpecker wood के tree के bark को या log of wood को prick करके अपना hollow करके nest बनाते हैं. Fine chips of wood are used to line the nest like this. Correct? Now penguins, they live in very cold places. Penguins, we all know they live in polar regions, so they are extremely in cold weathers they live. Grasses, twigs or straw are not available there. So penguins collect some pebbles. Pebbles, stones इकट्ठा करते हैं which are there alongside the oceans or seashores and make their nest on the ground. This is again so interesting since grass and twigs are not available in cold areas, so they collect what? Pebbles and stone to make their house. Now care for the young. The mother bird lay eggs in its nest. Baby birds are inside the eggs. So they need warmth to develop fully. The mother bird, they always, they are working outside, they are flying, they are collecting food and grasses for their babies. जो baby birds हैं, eggs hatch हुए हैं, या जो small chicks हैं, babies हैं, they are inside the nest. They need warmth to develop fully. The mother bird sits on the egg to give them warmth. The father bird protects them from predators. So they have a family, mother bird, father bird and babies. So mother bird, उनको warmth देने के लिए they sit on it so that they are covered and protected and they feel the warmth. Father bird क्या करते हैं? They act as a guard, as a security, and they protect them from predators, from other harmful animals जो उनको नुकसान कर सकते हैं. After a few days, the babies grow, they break the shells and come out, and this process is called hatching. So hatching of egg क्या होता है? Breaking of the shell, breaking of the egg and coming out of it. Baby birds are very weak, बहुत छोटे and tender, delicate हैं. They are without feathers. Their parents feed them and look after them. So till the time they are not growing up fully, इनके parents birds जो है, they feed them and take care of them. Soon they grow. Their parents teach them how to fly. Now जैसे human में क्या होता है? Our parents they hold our finger and make teach us how to walk. Similarly, here they teach their babies how to fly and find food for themselves. जैसे आपको हम स्कूल में भेजते हैं when you are very, as a kid. So similarly, they teach their kids to fly and take care of themselves and look for food now. So let's quickly recall what we have studied. A bird can fly because of its hollow bone, lightweight, boat-shaped body and strong wings. A bird makes upstrokes and downstrokes with its wing to fly. Some birds can fly high in the sky while some can fly at a smaller height. Some birds can fly very long distances and while some can fly only short distances. Some birds are flightless, that is, they cannot fly. Different birds have different kinds of beaks and claws. The shape of a bird's beak and claws is suited to the type of food they are eating. Birds make nests to lay eggs and care for their babies. Now quickly try to answer some question. How do birds fly? So birds can fly because they have lightweight body, they have hollow bone structure and they have feathers attached to strong muscles which when they stroke upward and downward, that help them to fly. How do ducks eat? So ducks, they have a flat, broad beak. So when they put their mouth in the muddy water, they catch up their fish and small organisms and they have holes on their beak. So excess water flows out and the rest of the food material which they want to eat, that moves inside their mouth. How do a crane's legs help it? So crane, they have long legs which help them walking on the water, on a shallow water. So they have this long pointed beak. So while standing also they can put their mouth inside the water and catch their prey. So cranes के बहुत ही long and steady legs होते हैं which help them to stand. Now where do birds make nests? Birds make their nest in trees, in rooftops, in log of woods, in mountains. So there, wherever they are finding their atmosphere or suitable condition, they make their nest. Then why does a mother bird sit on her eggs? So mother bird sits on her eggs because the eggs, they need warmth. So mothers sit on it and they give the warmth to the eggs. Then the eggs hatch and new babies are formed. Correct? So these were the questions and a very beautiful and interesting chapter. I thoroughly enjoyed in teaching you this chapter. But my dear students, you have to learn this chapter and again try to answer those questions. Till then, stay excited for clap of another video and stay happy and healthy. Thank you so much.